Grand Rising, good afternoon and good evening. Whatever time you click on this reading is the right time for you, and I thank you in advance for your viewership and support. Baby, listen. I know I told y'all 2025 would be all gas, no brakes, but y'all, I promise you, I can't even keep up at this point. So if you're familiar with attorney Brian Steele is a very prominent attorney who was a part of the YSL case and went viral for telling the judge that if he was going to be locked up, then he needed to be locked up with his client so that he could still, be able to work for his client. And I thought that was one of the most gangster things I'd ever seen, right? So fast forward, y'all. Brian Steele has been brought on to none other than the notorious, the infamous Sean Puffy Combs case. I got this information last night, right before I laid down. And I was just floored. Like, what is this Jumanji? Is like 2025 even real at this point? But yeah, get this sage dust off my table, y'all. We're gonna get into some things. So I figured, when I get up in the morning, I would tackle this from a new set of eyes, because I needed rest to look into this one. So expect this to be a long one, y'all. Buckle up. Get your wigs tightened up. Get your morning cup of coffee, your sip, a little puff, whatever you need, because this is definitely going to be intriguing. Without any further ado, let's get to it. Angels, ancestors, and spirit guides of the highest heavenly order, show me the energy around Brian Steele and the relationship between attorney-client privilege. Ooh, that might end up becoming the title. We'll see. By the time you see this, you'll see. I think I like the sound of that. Brian Steele and DIDDY, attorney-client privilege. Yeah, it's early. I can't talk. Let's get it, y'all. All right, show me the energy around attorney Brian Steele joining Puffy's legal team. Now, we know he just had lawyers that said, I can't do it. So looks like he's taking the place of a lawyer that left the team. Okay, what is this? Face down? Oh, okay. Ten of Swords represents a heavy betrayal. Seven of Swords here. Let me turn her around so y'all can see it. Okay? Seven of Swords here at the bottom of the deck lets me know that there's heavy trickery and betrayal. There's a lot going on beneath the surface. There's more going on than this attorney expected. Okay? Also, there's a lot happening with this case that people just would not believe. It's 10 times more happening with this case than what's happening in the public. Yeah. This was a very, very swift decision that was made due to what feels like a betrayal. So Diddy may feel betrayed by the lawyers who decided that they can't go any further with this team, or the lawyer. Keep that in mind. Lawyers in plural, that could actually mean something. There could be more than one lawyer that wants off of this case. Okay? Eight of Pentacles, the bottom of the deck, is a work card. So that lets me know that he jumped to this case immediately. It was like a split decision to the wire. um, 7 of Cups. Feels like Mr. Steele really had to contemplate if he was going to take this. He wanted to consider his options because there's more than what meets the eye with the situation. And as you can see, hold on, hopefully, let me adjust this light because I want to make sure y'all can see the cards. 1 second. That is not what we meant to do. I'm trying to turn it down, y'all. Give me a little grace. It's early. There we go. There we go. Because I want to make it easier for everybody to see the cards. There we go. All right. So, yeah, it looks like he was considering his options. He really had to look over this because there's, like I said, there's way more than what meets the eye, more than what people see in this case. And 4 of Wands, the bottom of the deck, represents, you know, how's this going to affect his home, his stability, his marriage. Five of Swords. He made a faced opposition, people who did not agree with this decision for him to take on this case. And his first job taking on this case was defending himself and his reasons for taking this case. So it feels like there could be conflict between him and his wife, Queen of Coins, about him taking this case. Wow, interesting. But here it is. Ace of Wands. He decided that, you know, he was going to jump on this, like, you know, on no holds barred, not holding back. And he may have been given a very large amount of money, a very large retainer to take this case on. Yeah, King of Coins, 4 of Coins, you know, this someone who's very financially stable. 4 of Wands. So he's definitely, you know, going to have to think about how this affects his marriage, his stability, his family. He has faith that he could bring something new to this case. Slide these over a little bit. Have a little bit more room on this table. Yeah, he has faith he can win this case. The Wounded Warrior. This is someone that has tenacity. They will not stop. They, you know, will go against all odds. But he has to be careful because that tenacity he had in the YSL case may not actually bring him the type of energy that he expects from this case, because it's the parts of this case that he doesn't see coming that could bring burdens upon his life that are very, very heavy, unbearable even. But it does look like, you know, hey, he's ready for work. He's, I don't want to say bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, but he's definitely eager to get in here and show some Olympic-style lawyering, baby. I mean, this case is going to take several miracles. Several miracles. So if he could turn the trajectory of this case, he would literally go down in history. But the problem is, would he be famous or infamous? Yeah. And and see, here's where there's going to be a crossroads, okay? Because you have the Faith card here, and it's falling under the Ten of Swords. And this feels like a moral dilemma. This is someone who may feel like they are possibly betraying their faith when it's all said and done. This could be a conflict between he and his moral compass. I don't know if he's a religious man, but this may test his faith in God and everything that he believes in by the time it's all said and done. That's interesting. Yeah, Queen of Swords. So there's something that he's going to find out very, very swiftly. This is what's going to test his moral compass, because you got the Queen of Swords here, which represents a woman who is a truth teller, but also represents a female lawyer. What is this angle with the female lawyer? Okay, the angle with the female lawyer versus the truth tellers is that the conflict is about being in his head about how this is going to work out, because it's like either your client is going to be locked up, or there's going to be a lot of people in mental angst about seeing a woman represent Diddy. And remember, Diddy just made a request to have a black female lawyer represent him. And if people see a black female lawyer represent him, it's going to be very triggering, very jarring, because it's like he's going to get someone that looks like or could possibly represent, his victims, to go against his victims. So it could be very triggering when it's all said and done. Just that image alone. Yeah. So King of Coins here is someone that's very stable, someone very grounded, someone that really would be great for counsel. So he is an excellent lawyer. And I just feel like, he may have felt like he considered all his options when this was, a thing when it started, but he may want to reconsider because of how this will affect the whole rest of his life. This is definitely one of those all money ain't good money type situations, because there's things that are going to come out about the past. And if you look at the depiction on this card, the illustration, that is a grown man with a child. And this feels like this is where a lot of this conflict is going to come in, this Five of Swords, this conflict in communication, people wanting to really, really come for Diddy. There's something about him and a child that is going to, oof. Y'all, this whole entire case could inspire episodes of SVU for the next 20 years. Expect to see multiple episodes of SVU that reflect this case. Okay, let's see what's hidden here. Yeah, there was a lot of arguing and conflict behind the scenes before such said lawyer walked away, whichever lawyer left the team, because I feel like multiple lawyers wanted to leave the team. Somebody left and possibly came back, but somebody else is juggling with how they're going to handle this situation. Two of Pentacles, because they know that he's going to go to prison. But it feels like one of the lawyers was even worried about going to prison. Damn. They also, allegedly, y'all, because we don't know, okay? This is a psychic speculation. They know that he has eyes on everything from prison. There's nothing that he doesn't see. So Puffy still has a lot of power, even though he's, where he is for now, okay? For now. He still has a lot of reach. He still has a lot of power for now. It's not what it used to be, but it's way more than most. Yeah. They're going to be arguing a lot. You got the Ace of Coins here under the Ace of Wands. That feels like, oh, that feels like trafficking, y'all. Feels like an exchange here for, you know, grown-up favors. And this is going to be a very sore spot. Four of Cups here at the bottom of the deck. Unrequited offer. There's something to do with a child and possibly being in traffic that's going to be, oof. All I can tell y'all is this is beyond trial of the century. This is about to be epic because the information that's about to come out in this case, I don't know if they're going to start redacting stuff because it's going to be, you know, so much. But they may, it's going to be a conflict in the way it's reported. I'll put it that way. It's definitely going to be a major conflict in the way that's reported because some people are going to go, you know, like taking a shot with no, you know, fruit, no salt, just straight shot, no chaser. And then there's going to be others that are going to be trying to comfort the blow, cushion the blow, so to speak, because some of this stuff, language-wise, is going to be hard to be monetized and describe it at the same time. So I definitely do feel, here it is, the Magician and the Upright. I definitely do feel that Mr. Steele feels like that, you know, he can turn this case around and he can help manifest a different direction for this case. This is the energy around, you know, his confidence. So he's very confident that there are either loopholes or there's something in this case that is a big enough gray area to where it can help to maneuver and change the direction of how this case is going. And he's been promised to be paid very, very well. So I don't know where the money is coming from, but somebody is really, really, really calling out, you know, the big, you know, the big guns on this one, because it's a tower effect that turns into a domino effect, if that makes sense. So if Puffy goes down, the domino effect goes like this all the way back through the industry. So the real question is, you know, who is possibly helping to ensure that this case does not end up being lost? Because if this case is lost, it will be a tsunami that will sweep across all law enforcement, entertainment. Wow, my guide says CPS. There's a scandal here that could blow the lid off of CPS. So they really do need to keep this case contained as much as they possibly can, allegedly. So he's definitely about, you know, forward movement. He took the offer. He's going to go forward with this full throttle. And the Chariot is like a force that cannot be slowed down. Once the Chariot is in motion, it's like a locomotive. It's coming straight through and it will run you over. So, y'all, this is like, you know, Puffy's Hail Mary pass, okay? Literally, Brian Steele is Puffy's Hail Mary pass. Yeah. So, intriguing enough, there was a lot of calamity, like I said, between the lawyers, Page of Cups as well. The basic meaning of this card could mean people having, you know, very, very light to no communication. Also, this is a card of apology, but let's remember, pages are children, small children, children that are like 12 years old to infancy. Oh God. This goes back to children, y'all. Something damning that has to do with children. And it happened at a house of ill repute. There's something that happens with children in a major palatial home, or I don't know if there was a home that was purchased for some type of activities, okay? But it's like this home to certain people may have been very well known for this type activity, allegedly. And this woman, whoever she is, she knows the truth about something that happened with a child, a very sensitive child, a very innocent child. And whatever this was that happened to this innocent child, somebody may have received favors, large amounts of money for several different people, or oh God, I don't know how to describe this. Y'all, let's just say allegedly someone may have facilitated a situation where a child may have been taken advantage of by multiple people. That's the best way I can say it and still be monetized. Allegedly. Yeah. And after this happened, everybody, especially Diddy, okay, they were able to move forward. And if Brian Steele is as smart as he believes he is, and as well put together as what this looks like on this table, this looks like, you see this devil card? Hold on, let me move my nail. Where the door is open to that cell, and at any given time this person can get up and leave. If Brian has the type of strategy that I see that he has, he really could give Puffy a good opportunity at getting up and walking out of that cell. But I feel like what's going to be the most damnable part, of this situation is whatever this has to do with possible minors and possible traffic. So it's definitely going to come down to what's like a reasonable doubt situation. And if Puffy loses this defense, we could know no later than July or August what his fate could be with him going to prison. Like I said, secret contributors, the moon here falls under the Ace of Coins and the Ace of Wands. So, oh Lord. Yeah, allegedly, whoever the secret contributor or contributors could possibly be, may be contributing because they are caught up in this situation due to possibly paying for services that may have to do with traffic, or actually receiving money for things that could have happened to people in traffic. Oh, this is giving pimping and pandering. Queen of Cups. Y'all, they're working on a witness that I don't even think Brian Steele is going to expect. This is going to get very, very interesting because the government is still building their case against Puff, Diddy, whatever you want to call them. And because they're still building this case is going to evolve all the way to the end. Okay, so expect changes in charges, possible new charges, new witnesses, surprise witnesses. This is going to be literally what movies are made of. A roller coaster ride from beginning to the end. Palace of Cups. Now, Diddy is a water sign, and water represents intuition, love, things of that nature. Remember, he went through that phase, Mr. Love, the love of the love, all the love album. Lord have mercy. Also, that Palace of Cups. Hold on, let me pull this back out. Palace of Cups in this card also represent like marine spirits, water spirits. And remember, I told you, if you've been watching me for a while, when he got that tattoo on his back, he mounted himself with the spirit of a water lua. Okay, so that lua that he mounted on his back, hope I'm saying that right, please correct me in the comments if I'm not. I think I am though. Ezerly Dantor, honey, any of the Ezerlys that he called himself trying to work with, it was to maintain or secure his energy as an emperor. So Brian, I hope that you spiritually cleanse as much as you possibly can, because it looks like you're fighting against the water spirits that are fighting against Mr. Love of the Love. Yeah. So here he is as a defense attorney, him against everybody. So he's going to fight as valiantly as he can against these child allegations. And there's a lot of lewd and lascivious conversations, and y'all, the government gonna fight tooth and nail to keep him from going free and to keep this from going into a new direction. Wait a minute, y'all. So as you can see, the bottom of the deck, Page going in a new direction, and boom, get hit possibly with a whole nother child. Y'all, oh my God. So it could possibly be multiple children, but there's one that is very prominent that could kick this off, and then it comes out that there could be multiple boys. They're very particular about that, multiple boys. Allegedly. Yeah, this is really going to affect the infrastructure of not just Diddy's family, but Mr. Steele's family as well, because people are going to be enraged with this case the more information comes out. Hold on, bottom of the deck. Let me cover up her little tarot boobs, y'all. Y'all know they get sensitive with the tarot titties. So it's like they're trying to get balance through a new beginning with this case. And it's like they feel like Brian Steele is that skeleton key that can, you know, unlock any situation for them, because he's that masterful. But it seems like there's a secret collaboration here that may be funneling the money to pay for this to go in a new direction. And this whole row right here, Ace of Wands, Ace of Coins, the Moon. This whole row talks about secret investors and possible benefactors who need this to go away, because if this case doesn't go away, if they can't get it to go in a new direction, baby, all hell is gonna break loose. Yep. I don't know what it is with real estate and, you know, traffic. We're going to say real estate and interstate, y'all. Something is very prominent with this case and houses and traffic. I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for this Queen of Cups and the Palace of Coins. Because I'm telling you, there's going to be some shock, some surprise witnesses. Ooh-wee. And don't be surprised, some of these surprise witnesses end up being very prominent or wealthy people. I'm sorry, y'all. If you've been with me for a while, you have an inclination of who the King of Wands is. This fire sign male, older male, could be middle-aged, okay? This person is going to feel very heavily betrayed because they're praying that certain things don't come out about visits to a certain house. Remember I said everything is tied to different houses, okay? You have to know what house was known for what activity. So every house was dedicated to a different type of activity. That's why a lot of people can say that they went to parties and didn't see certain things, because certain things happened at certain houses, if that makes sense. You had to be invited to certain houses to even be a part of certain activities. Yeah. So the biggest thing that I see with Mr. Steele is going to be the battle of, you know, his moral compass, his relationship with God, because this is going to test him in ways that he's never been tested before. And it's not about money this time. It's literally about feeling vexed in his spirit. You know, damn, this is like devil's advocate energy, y'all. So you got the Death here and the High Priestess. There's something that can come out that can literally kill this whole entire defense. And it's like the government is holding on to this. They're not ready to drop this yet because they don't want to give Diddy's team enough time to try to. Okay, so they're not worried about them finding a defense to it. It's about protecting people. They don't want to drop certain information before they secure certain people's protection. But whatever this is, the world at the bottom of the deck, baby, this is the coup de grace. This is it. This is the last hurrah. This is Gabriel blowing his horn. This is conviction. And it looks like it's something to do with, you know, Diddy's family. It's not just him. This could lead to a lot of regret, scrutiny, public humiliation over money or money that was earned, money attached to the family. Because something that has to do with possible alleged traffic, how the family actually possibly gets their money, or maintains their money, so to speak. A lot of anxiety about what could possibly come out between the transaction of money and some type of hyper you know, sexual energy that is attached to the King of Cups. We know Puffy is a water sign, so he will represent the King of Cups. Yeah, Four of Cups. I don't see Puffy getting out of this, y'all. I really don't. Four of Cups and Justice. Unrequited offer for justice. Even if Brian Steele is able to get some of these charges thrown out, it's what's about to come out in court that's going to change the narrative for everybody. So it's just one of those types of situations. Once you've been accused of some weird stuff, people never look at you the same anyway. So all I can tell y'all is pray, do a lot of spiritual cleansing, do a lot of meditation to not let the details, the inner working of this case put you in a dark place. Because a lot of information is about to come out on this case, and people are going to be very, very angry. They're going to feel like, you know, wow, well, all these people saying this or saying that. Why didn't anybody say anything? How did you see this and how did you see that and go along with it? I'm here to tell you something. Sometimes the safest thing you can do is see something and shut the hell up, okay? Because what I'm seeing here is very, very deep, very intricate, and you can't do things like this without having law enforcement involved. It's no way. It's no way. And this type of law enforcement has to be very high up on the food chain and very heavy in authority. So I can see why a lot of people were afraid to say anything, because this is that, you know, you go make a report and then somebody find you, you know, possibly sleep in the bathtub indefinitely. So I'm going to go ahead and end this here because I want to get this reading up today before I go live tonight. This has been my energetic tap in on Diddy and Brian Steele. Very, very, excuse me. Felt like somebody tried to choke me. Goodness. This has been a very, very intriguing tap in because it's like Brian jumped in, you know, wholeheartedly, came to help. It's like, I believe I can actually turn this around. There's a lot of gray areas. There's a lot of technicalities, but then the gray areas become less gray, and this becomes more and more and more of a nightmare. And it does not look like the United States government is going to be done bringing up new charges for a while. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and tap out on this one. This reading is adjourned, and hoo-wee. Like I said, brace yourself for some very, 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 very disturbing information to come out, and pray. Be very mindful who's around your children and around you, because this is going to change your mind about, you know, what you think opulence and success really means and what you're willing to subject yourself to have it. Until next time, y'all. See you soon. Bye-bye, y'all.